Are you confident that you have a complete understanding of trust? Don't be so sure. Trust, which is the invisible glue that holds all of our relationships together, can be built and destroyed in the blink of an eye, as opposed to taking years to build up. This is contrary to the common misconception. Despite the fact that I am aware that this is a shocking statement, the information that I am about to disclose in the following few minutes goes beyond any conventional belief. A hidden secret that lies deep within human relationships will be revealed to you in just a few minutes. This secret has the potential to completely alter the way in which you interact with friends, family, and even strangers. To what extent are you prepared to question everything you believed you knew about the fundamentals of human relationships? If that is the case, you should not turn away, because what is about to happen will completely alter your perspective. We are about to reveal something that will shock you. In the video that we are going to watch today, we are going to navigate the uncharted territory of human relationships. We are going to concentrate on 9 different personality types that will challenge everything you know about trust. I am here to shed light on the dark corners of the human psyche, so forget about the conventional thought process. Imagine being able to discover, in a matter of minutes, the hidden meanings that lie behind the words and actions of individuals for whom trusting is equivalent to playing a dangerous game. For this journey, are you prepared to go? Over the course of today, we will not only identify these fascinating types, but we will also investigate the reasons why blindly trusting them can be a risky game. This journey will lead us to question who truly deserves a place in our lives at each and every stage of the journey ahead. It is through the teachings of the Stoics that we will be guided to not disrespect others, but rather to recognize when it is time to take a step back in order to safeguard our well-being. I invite you to accompany me on this thrilling adventure, during which we will learn to strike a balance between wisdom and caution, acquiring the ability to keep a safe distance while preserving the humanity in our relationships. But this is not merely a teacher, rather, it is an experience that will change you. Have you prepared yourself to have your understanding of trust completely flipped upside down? The manipulator is the first intriguing character that we come across on our journey of discovering new things about trustful relationships. The challenge of navigating the treacherous waters of relationships with these personalities is one that requires caution in order to be successful. How come? Because it is essential to keep an environment that is emotionally healthy. Those who are skilled in the art of self-centeredness, also known as manipulators, are always looking out for their own interests, regardless of the consequences for other people. In order to accomplish their goals, they employ a wide variety of devious strategies, which include lying, playing psychological games, and exploiting people's emotions. The danger lies in the fact that their maneuvers are so subtle that it is even more difficult to recognize them. The workplace and personal relationships are both potential settings for the occurrence of these behaviors. As a result of trusting manipulators, you may experience betrayal and deep emotional wounds, and you may also find that the trust you place in other people is diminished. The question now is, how can you defend yourself against these cunning individuals? Recognizing the subtleties of manipulation is the first step in the process. Keep an eye out for signs such as a lack of transparency, behaviors that are inconsistent with one another, and a persistent feeling of being in control. Setting up distinct boundaries is of the utmost importance. When confronted with manipulative attitudes, it is important to communicate in a firm manner and to not be afraid to express discomfort. In certain circumstances, the best course of action is to remove yourself from the situation, particularly if the manipulation does not stop. Recognizing when a relationship is unhealthy and taking steps to safeguard your mental health are both essential components of how to respect yourself. Breaking ties with people who manipulate you and seeking emotional support when it's required are both possible steps in this direction. Keeping an eye out for these warning signs and establishing clear boundaries will help you pave the way for relationships that are more authentic and ultimately healthier. A journey towards self-preservation and the establishment of genuine and long-lasting connections is being undertaken. When we delve deeper into the intricate webs of human interactions, we come across the second fascinating type, the person who is constantly critical of others. Take into consideration a vast and diverse landscape of interpersonal relationships, where continuous criticisms have a tendency to reveal more about the critic than they do about the person who is the subject of these observations. It's almost as if a spotlight is shining on the critic themselves, revealing their character in all its glory. Consider the most important question: at what point is it prudent to put some distance between oneself and these personalities? Imagine coming across a clearing, a safe haven in the midst of a thick forest, a sanctuary for healthy relationships that is sheltered from the whirlwind of unending criticism. The whispered conversations of gossipers and rumor spreaders continue, even when you are not present. Imagine them as shadowy figures from a medieval village. It is just as prudent to move away from them as it is for a navigator to steer clear of turbulent waters. For the purpose of elevating themselves, these individuals are obsessed with pointing out the shortcomings of others. They are similar to participants in a masquerade ball, where their true intentions are hidden behind disguises. You develop into a more discriminating viewer as you continue to watch this video. Keep in mind that those who engage in gossip and criticism are not participating in activities that are constructive. In the spectacle that is modern life, they are the clowns who are intent on degrading others in order to shield themselves from their own dissatisfaction. While you are making your way through this story, keep in mind that you should choose the people who are a part of your journey with great care. The same ease with which they can turn their backs on you is also present in those who spew malice. As we delve deeper into the analysis of the third character, who is the friend of everyone, we find ourselves immersed in a complex web of social interactions. This particular person, who is frequently considered to be the lively center of any gathering, exudes an air of palpable warmth and a willingness to assist others. Their presence is like the sun shining in a cloudless sky, attracting others to spend time with them because of their radiance and infectious energy. A more nuanced reality, however, lies beneath this veneer of charm and charisma that is presented throughout. This individual composes a symphony that resonates with the melody of popularity, and they do so by deftly playing the strings of agreeableness and amiability. They are a maestro in the orchestra of social relations. It is possible that their unrelenting pursuit of acceptance and admiration is not a reflection of a desire for profound and meaningful connections, but rather an insatiable thirst to be the focus of individuals' attention. When it comes to their world, relationships are frequently seen not as genuine expressions of affection, but rather as stepping stones on the path to social advancement. In this scenario, you might find yourself to be nothing more than a spectator in their audience, another face in the crowd, rather than a friend in the traditional sense of the word. It is possible that they are comparable to a skilled actor whose role is to be approachable and friendly, but whose script does not include any emotional depth or genuine commitment. It is possible that their smile, despite being friendly and inviting, is no more than a rehearsed act of politeness. The importance of distinguishing between those whose friendship is founded on genuine emotions and those whose camaraderie is a calculated performance is brought to our attention by this archetype. True friendship is a rare treasure that is characterized by a connection that goes beyond shiny surfaces and affable words. In a world where appearances often overshadow reality, true friendship offers a rare and valuable opportunity. Consequently, as we come into contact with these friends to everyone, it is prudent to keep in mind that genuine connection is not simply a matter of exchanging smiles and greetings, rather, it is a conversation between souls. The shadows of superficiality and self-deception are far away from this fertile ground, which is where sincerity blossoms and authenticity takes root. It would be greatly appreciated if you would not forget to subscribe to the channel, leave a comment, and show your appreciation for this. The pretender of attention is the fourth character that we come across as we continue to explore the intricate web of human relationships. This individual is a true chameleon of communication. This figure is an expert in the art of pretending to be interested in something, and a skilled actor in the dialogues that we encounter on a daily basis. Have you ever encountered someone like this? Someone who responds to a question or statement with phrases such as "I understand" or "that's true," but whose eyes and mind wander far away from the conversation. It is not only tedious to maintain this posture, but it also exudes an air of subtle disrespect. The situation is even more frustrating when it is their turn to speak, the person you are conversing with immerses themselves in the world of their mobile phone, navigating a digital ocean while you are attempting to establish a genuine connection. Their answers become meaningless echoes, devoid of any weight or genuine interest in the subject matter. It seems as though, for them, it is sufficient to merely give the impression that they are participating, without actually committing to the exchange of ideas being involved. During times like these, you might have the impression that you are speaking to a wall, where your words continue to reverberate without reaching their intended destination. You will feel an increasing amount of frustration when you come to the realization that the other party is more dedicated to pixels and notifications than they are to the depth of human conversation. A conundrum has arisen should you continue to make an effort to initiate a conversation with someone who is obviously uninterested, or should you choose to terminate the interaction in order to respect your own time and effort. The answer appears to be obvious. The act of inserting energy into a container that does not have a bottom is illogical. The ability to recognize when your own words and time are not being appreciated is an essential component of valuing them. For this reason, you should not be afraid to withdraw from interactions of this nature. When it comes to communication, it is not a matter of giving up, but rather of choosing to invest in areas where it will be valued. It is not necessary to show respect for a person who chooses to act as if they are paying attention while they are actively distracted by their mobile phone. You are choosing conversations that are meaningful, that are reciprocal, and that enrich you when you make the decision to walk away from the situation. In this situation, the silence that you choose to practice can be more effective than words that are thrown away. It is a choice that involves valuing oneself and seeking out genuine interactions in which both parties are fully present, both in terms of listening and speaking. In the event that you are having fun with this, you should not pass up the chance. You can unlock your prosperity and abundance, as well as improve your relationships by purchasing the ebook Stoicism in the 21st Century Ancient Strategies for Modern Challenges. This ebook will help you improve your relationships. Include a link in the comment that has been pinned. An alarming characteristic is revealed by the fifth character, who is devoid of empathy and whose tendency to deceive or harm others for the purpose of gaining personal gain. This character emerges from the intricate mosaic of human relationships. We are able to feel and comprehend the suffering of other people when we have empathy, which is like a lighthouse in the midst of the darkness of indifference. Imagine empathy as a voice within us that asks, "What if it were me?" The capacity to put oneself in the position of another person is what distinguishes us as human beings and what helps to cultivate trust and mutual understanding. When we come across someone who is lacking in this essential ability, we are putting ourselves in a precarious position. As a result of their incapacity or unwillingness to recognize and appreciate the emotions of others, individuals like these are able to easily cross the line between respect and decency without displaying any symptoms of remorse. Their perspective is that other people are pieces on a chessboard, and they move those pieces without taking into account the emotional repercussions of their actions. This lack of empathy is more than just insensitivity, it is a deficiency in emotional understanding that manifests itself in behaviors that are harmful to others. These individuals have the potential to be masters of manipulation, employing words and actions to accomplish their objectives without giving a second thought to the potential adverse effects that they may have on other people. In addition, one of the most notable characteristics of these individuals is their absence of a desire to take responsibility. It is possible that they will make mistakes or cause harm to other people, but they almost never accept responsibility for their actions. Instead, they continue to exist in a bubble of self-justification throughout the process of finding excuses or shifting blame. As a result, the lesson that we learn from this is extremely important. When interacting with individuals who exhibit a glaring lack of empathy, it is essential to exercise a great deal of caution at all times. It is possible that they could be dangerous because they are unable to appreciate and comprehend the emotions of other people. Within the context of personal relationships, these individuals have the potential to cause emotional harm, as well as to be sources of confusion and conflict that are not necessary. As a result, it is absolutely necessary to approach individuals of this nature with a combination of awareness and caution. When it comes to protecting oneself from manipulations and deceptions, the ability to accurately identify a lack of empathy in another person can be an extremely useful tool. Those individuals who exhibit a genuine and sincere understanding of the impact that their actions have on other people should be the only ones from whom trust should be reserved in these situations. People like these are able to build relationships with others that are founded on genuine consideration and mutual respect because they are able to comprehend the feelings of other people. In order to successfully navigate the challenges that come with interpersonal relationships, it is essential to keep in mind that not everyone is capable of or willing to empathize with others. Because of this, we are able to form relationships that are greater in strength and significance with individuals who truly appreciate and comprehend the complexities of the human heart. As we progress further along our path of gaining an understanding of interpersonal relationships, we come across the sixth character, the persistent provocateur, who is always wrapped in the certainty that they are in the right. The character in question is an expert in the art of causing irritation, a skilled manipulator of feelings who operates on a subtle terrain that is frequently undetectable to the unobservant eye. There is a significant distinction between the kind of impatience that manifests itself during times of tension, which is just temporary, and the kind of impatience that this character causes to be persistent and irritable. The ability to throw words and actions that, like fine needles, prick and irritate without leaving visible marks is something that they have, and it is almost hidden from one another. In addition to sowing the seeds of doubt, they twist the realities of the situation with shrewd comments and provoke with an efficiency that is almost imperceptible. Recognizing this emotional and psychological game that is played out in a stealthy and gradual manner is the challenge that has been presented here. The simple act of upsetting the emotional equilibrium of others is something that these provocateurs frequently take pleasure in doing, and they take pleasure in the discomfort that they cause. This subtle game is played not for the purpose of gaining something tangible, but rather for the sheer pleasure of witnessing the destabilization of others. In essence, it is essential to be aware of these games and tricks in order to avoid becoming unwittingly entangled in their webs to accomplish this. If you become aware that a particular individual is persistently causing you to feel irritated, this is a clear indication that you are being subtly affected by manipulation. On account of the fact that these actions are frequently disguised as innocuous remarks or casual jokes, it can be challenging to identify them. You should get yourself ready to deal with these complicated dynamics in a rational manner. When you are being manipulated, even in a subtle way, the first step in protecting yourself is to recognize that you are being manipulated. Your ability to maintain your emotional equilibrium and respond in an appropriate manner will be facilitated by the development of a keen perception of these interactions. It is important to keep in mind that the best defense is sometimes a keen awareness of these games. You give yourself the ability to navigate these complex social landscapes with greater clarity and resilience when you are aware of the subtle tactics that these characters employ. Not only does this awareness safeguard your emotional well-being, but it also enables you to engage with the people around you in a manner that is more genuine and less reactive. A cloud of persistent difficulties hangs over the head of the seventh character as they emerge from the story. This person seems to be caught in a never-ending cycle of conflicts and difficulties, and they proclaim that life is a series of obstacles that cannot be overcome. They are perpetually dissatisfied with their lives, but what is even more intriguing is the fact that they appear to be unable or unwilling to change the way things are going for them. It would appear that this individual has a knack for finding challenges at every turn. They paint a picture of their life as a maze of difficulties and challenges by sharing their misfortunes with everyone around them, which is one of the characteristics that defines them. On the other hand, a more in-depth examination reveals something else. The majority of the time, it is their own decisions and actions that bring about these recurrent issues. Not merely a coincidence or an inexplicable misfortune, the pattern of persistently encountering problems is not a coincidence. There are many instances in which it is a direct result of decisions that were not well calculated and a refusal to learn from mistakes that were made in the past. One gets the impression that the individual is caught in a vicious cycle of problems that they have caused themselves, a web of complications that they have woven themselves. When engaging in conversation with this kind of person, it is absolutely necessary to keep a certain emotional distance behind you. When you become deeply involved with them, you run the risk of being drawn into their chaotic world, where their problems can begin to weigh on your shoulders as heavy burdens. The fact that they are unable to control their own feelings adds yet another layer of complexity to the situation, which in turn makes their involvement even more dangerous. When dealing with this individual, it is beneficial to approach them with a healthy dose of skepticism. When you are confronted with their stories of never-ending challenges, it is essential to keep in mind that their issues have the potential to become a burden for you. As a virtue, compassion is something that should be practiced, but it should never be done at the expense of one's own survival. While it is true that everyone's life presents its own unique challenges, it is important to keep in mind that taking on the challenges of another person can be an excessive burden. In certain circumstances, the most prudent course of action is to keep a safe distance from the situation in order to protect your own equilibrium and tranquility. In the intricate dance that is life, there are times when the most prudent thing to do is to take a step back and focus on your own health and well-being. They are the master of duplicity, whose skill in spreading gossip is as developed as their ability to display a friendly face. In the vast universe of human relationships, we come across a character that is particularly mysterious, the master of duplicity. There is a darker side to this eighth character that is only revealed behind the scenes, despite the fact that they may appear to be a trustworthy friend. They are true artists of dissimulation, capable of passing from a friendly smile and kind words to, in the next moment, weaving a web of rumors and intrigues. They are able to switch between these two states of being. This duality is not confined to a single individual, rather, they disseminate their harmful stories about a large number of people, thereby starting a chain reaction of misunderstandings and distrust. Their capacity to sow discord in a covert manner is the source of the danger that these individuals pose. They frequently begin their gossip in a stealthy manner, blending truths and lies with such dexterity that it becomes difficult to differentiate between which ones are genuine and which ones are fabricated. They have the ability to tarnish reputations, distort perceptions, and destabilize relationships that were previously stable with just a few comments here and there. In the event that you come across such behavior, the circumstance calls for a prompt and decisive response. Maintaining a relationship with a person who exhibits such a high level of dishonesty is comparable to walking through a minefield of mistrust and deception. Those who are masters of dissimulation are not familiar with the concepts of honesty and integrity, which are essential components of any healthy relationship. Consequently, once you have discovered this double standard, the protection of your tranquility and well-being ought to be your initial and foremost concern. Maintaining a safe distance from these individuals might prove to be the most prudent and preventative course of action. By removing yourself from the situation, you safeguard yourself against becoming entangled in a whirlwind of fake news and rumors thereby preserving your honesty and tranquility. But in your life, it is important to keep in mind that the presence of people like these can be extremely harmful. Their poisonous words not only erode trust, but they also pollute the social environment in which they are found. It is essential to have the ability to identify these people and to put some distance between yourself and them. In order to maintain your mental and emotional well-being, this is a strategic move that can be considered an act of self-defense. In a nutshell, the eighth character in our story serves as a reminder that not all smiles are genuine, and not all words of friendship reflect genuine intentions. It is important to remember to be watchful and to safeguard yourself. For the purpose of safely navigating the complex waters of human relationships, it is essential to have the ability to recognize and disentangle oneself from individuals who engage in the art of gossip and duplicity. By doing so, you are choosing to walk the path of honesty and integrity, moving away from those who would rather live in the shadows of dishonesty and falsehood. As we travel through the vast landscape of our story about interpersonal relationships, we come across the ninth and most complicated character, the toxic individual. Interacting with people like this is like walking through an emotional minefield, full of traps that can cause significant damage to one's mental and emotional health. In addition to being experts in sowing distrust and discomfort, these individuals are masters of negativity. The manifestation of toxic traits can take many forms and can be subtle. Continuous criticisms that undermine one's sense of self-worth, emotional manipulations that cause confusion and instability, or disrespectful behaviors that cause pain and alienation are all potential ways in which this can occur. The presence of these individuals contributes to the creation of an oppressive environment in which happiness and productivity are consistently undermined. When toxic people continue to spread negativity, it is similar to a virus that infects the environment and spreads to those who are in close proximity to them. Every interaction becomes a challenge to one's ability to maintain one's emotional integrity when one is in the company of such individuals, which can be an exhausting journey. Identifying dangerous substances is the first step in protecting yourself from them. It is of the utmost importance to be aware of the signs, which include derogatory comments and controlling attitudes, and to comprehend the ways in which these dynamics impact your well-being. In order to show respect for yourself, you must establish clear boundaries and refrain from allowing the destructive actions of another person to creep into your emotional space. Communication that is assertive is essential. If you want to keep your mental health in good shape, it is not only your right but also your obligation to voice your discomfort when confronted with harmful behavior. On the other hand, when negativity continues to exist and toxicity continues to permeate, the decision to put some distance between oneself and the situation becomes not only reasonable, but also essential. The practice of emotional self-defense against toxic individuals is an important discipline to engage in. You give yourself the power to establish and maintain healthy boundaries when you give yourself the ability to recognize harmful patterns of behavior. Not only is this a self-preservation strategy, but it is also a step toward cultivating relationships that are more positive and enriching for both parties involved. Taking care of oneself includes making an effort to cultivate a positive and healthy environment for oneself. Within the intricate web of human connections, it is of the utmost importance to make the conscious decision to surround yourself with individuals who are beneficial to your mental well-being. You can cultivate an atmosphere that is conducive to the development of relationships that are both healthy and enriching by making it a habit to identify influences that are harmful to you and to remove yourself from them. As a result, putting distance between yourself and toxic people not only helps you protect yourself, but it also paves the way for connections that are more genuine and significant. I would like to take this opportunity to remind you that each and every moment that we spend together is a step in our collective journey of discovery and development. But as we come to the end of our enlightening journey through the universe of human relationships and the complexities therein, I would like to remind you that, on the other hand, Before we part ways, I have something very special to tell you, a secret that has the potential to alter the way you perceive the world around you completely. If you found this video to be enlightening, just think about the other opportunities that are waiting for you on our channel. By revealing insights into human nature and strategies for living a life that is more fulfilling and satisfying, each video is a piece of a larger puzzle that is being revealed. Through the act of subscribing, you become a member of a community of wise and inquisitive individuals who are all on a quest for knowledge and understanding. However, you shouldn't keep this priceless treasure to yourself. Give this video to your loved ones and close friends. It is impossible to predict who might gain something from these insightful observations. Through sharing, you not only show your support for our work, but you also contribute to the dissemination of information and comprehension. In addition, we undoubtedly value the thoughts and experiences that you share with us. Please leave a comment below in which you can share your personal experiences or any thoughts that this video may have prompted. Each comment opens up new points of view and contributes to the overall enhancement of the experience for everyone. Last but not least, if you found this video entertaining, please show your appreciation by clicking the like button. Each like tells us that we are heading in the right direction, which in turn inspires us to provide you with even more content that is of great value. Wait until we meet again.